The good thing about driving to these trips to Northfield or wherever when I'm driving, it allows me to hash out some of the things that are going on. There's always so much going on with the stable, and you guys have no idea sometimes the smaller things that are going on. For those of you who may or may not know, Punch the Clock is at the University of Guelph, and although she's doing better today, there was a real possibility we were going to lose this filly over the last 48 hours, which was extremely taxing on me. I haven't slept a whole lot in the last 2 days, as you can imagine. We also had a pending sale of Will to Win Hanover, how that was going to look, how we were going to unpack all that to everybody. Anytime we're selling a horse like her or any of our horses, whether it even be in a sale situation, I always try to give everybody my point of view and allow a discussion to take place on your point of view. So that was a tricky situation also for a number of reasons. We had horses racing. I guess that's the best way to start. I guess good news. Resolute Bay raced great last night. Now, I had a couple of messages from people last night. One in particular, where somebody was a little upset we hadn't rested Renegade Gypsy yet. And I keep telling everybody, there's no cookie cutter way to deal with this. Sure, you can turn them all out, come back in with them, and they can race, and you may not know the difference. But there are races that the horses can do well in, right? And they're not always present, and they're not always like that. You're not coming back in April to a 6-horse field for 3 and 4-year-olds, I can assure you of that. And Renegade Gypsy being 2 or 3 to 1 or whatever he was last night, had him and Resolute Bay got a little closer, away a little closer. I knew from the rail it was going to be a problem for Resolute Bay. I would have liked Hang On Baby to have the rail and Resolute Bay to have the 6-hole last night. James sort of went out of there and been a little closer with him. Maybe run her down, maybe not. He raced good. But Renegade Gypsy, that's not his type of mile. Renegade Gypsy's a big race horse. What I mean by that is 6-horse fields, not cool. Not his cup of tea, and he wasn't good last night. But does that mean that he was tired? I can't say that. I saw the same race you did. It looked like he was tired. But you don't know what went into that race last night. You don't know if he was tired. You don't know if his blood work maybe come back a little bad. With the weather teetering up and down, below zero, above zero, horses get sick. White Tiger was sick last night. He scoped. And when I say sick, when you see White Tiger at 100%, it's impressive. But when you see White Tiger at 85, 90, not so impressive, right? And when he's not good, he's just, he's last night. He's just present. Locatelli raced good. Again, not his trip. Small field, getting away 5th, first over. Yeah, one made a break, another made a break. The first one that made a break interfered with him. The second one that made a break ended up 3rd, just beat for 2nd instead of 4th. But they both raced good. Everybody raced okay last night when it came to Renegade Gypsies. I said, I can't say that he's not tired. I told everybody out there, we were going to let Renegade Gypsy tell us, and all of our horses tell us when they were tired. Resolute Bay certainly didn't look tired last night, and he had the exact same schedule all year. And those aren't the only 3-year-olds still racing. We just bought a 3-year-old that's about to race again. He's only had 3 weeks off, and in that 3 weeks he was sold, jogged, and trained. So it's not really like he had any time off. Looks Like Money is the name of the horse. So I think it's important. I know everybody thinks that there's this certain calendar way you train horses, and there is not. Sure, I could have just said, October 1st, we kick him out, bring him back in. Great. If you seem to think he's going to come back in and just trot in 51 or 52 and crush everybody, then you are absolutely you're going to be saddened to find out that is not what is likely to take place. He's likely to come back as a 4-year-old, flounder around 3rd, 4th, 5th, 3rd, 4th, 5th. Hopefully find a class to do well, and maybe he will find a class he can win. But you may have noticed from watching Locatelli last year, it ain't easy as a 4-year-old. It's very difficult to transition from 3 to 4. And it took almost the entire summer for Locatelli to hit his best stride. Here we are in November, and now he is in the Open, where he belongs, where he will eventually win the Open. But it took all the year to get there. Building that top-end, high-end muscle onto a talented horse is not easy. All I'm trying to do is give everybody the best send-off to a break of Resolute Bay and Renegade Gypsy. Let them make as much as they can and win as many races and do as good as they can until they say, hey, I wouldn't mind a little break. Then we'll rest them. This cookie cutter idea doesn't work. Sure, it works in the sense you can do it, but I can assure you and almost 1,000% guarantee you will not have the results that we are having right now and that we will continue to have. If Renegade Gypsy was indeed tired last night, if his blood work comes back good, he didn't scope that bad. A little bit of mucus, but who doesn't this time of year? I do. You do. He certainly does. If everything comes back good and there's no real indication of why he was bad other than the fractions weren't to his liking, then yeah, we can start to look at turning him out. But this idea that they have to go out because it's November, I'm sorry. You're not going to find that here. It's not going to float here. It doesn't work that way. Not in this barn anyway. So that's where we're at with the horses. I do appreciate the feedback, and I know a lot of people want to know, when are we going to rest the horse? He's going to tell us. That's who's going to tell us when he gets rested, not me. If we had arrested him by now, or today, or a week or 2 weeks from now, I'd be fine with that too. We'll let Renegade Gypsy tell us. When we get the blood work back, and then Mario, I, maybe even Sylvie, have a talk about the horse and say, hey, where are we going? What are we doing? What's this look like? Yeah, he may go out. That's where we're at. It doesn't need to be any more complex than that. So Resolute Bay raced good. Renegade Gypsy, again, did all he could. But that was quite a shift. And the reason I'm not going to say he was tired is because he looked so good 2 weeks ago and then just come right out with a flat mile. It doesn't generally work that way. There is a tipping point. It just doesn't generally. I think he wasn't 100% last night. Maybe his blood will show a little tie-up or a little dehydration. It's not the end of the world. More importantly, he's not a 6-horse field type horse, right? He's not the type of horse you drag off the gate 6th, 5th, and then he sprints by them down the lane. Or he hasn't been, anyway. Just not his race. And I think that's the way I saw Renegade Gypsy last night. Now again, week by week, race by race, we'll take his blood, we'll discuss it, and if that's it, that's it. And if it's not, you'll see him in to go next week or the week after. And that's where we're at with Renegade Gypsy and Resolute Bay and all of our 3-year-olds. But I was very happy with everybody last night. Gypsy did what he could, finished 5th. Resolute Bay raced great to finish 2nd. Locatelli raced fantastic again, 3rd. And White Tiger, little flat, little mucus in his upper airway, as I just said to one of our clients in an email, what I would call head cold. So that's where we're at with all those horses. But now Tiger definitely gets to drop down. We have a number of horses on the move this week. I just trained Sailor in 2 minutes this morning. I was in the middle of going with babies. Stacy and Brett are going to get Sailor. He's going to fit a mini series now. There's a 4,000 last 5 or something. He's going to fit that series next week, Saturday actually. So Stacy had asked me if we could train him up. He's going to leave tomorrow and actually be on the truck to the Meadows, where somebody at Stacy's farm is racing tomorrow. They're going to pick him up and bring him back to Dayton, back to Columbus with them. And then he'll race in Dayton on Saturday. Stay Close is in Thursday. He looks really, really good. Very happy with what I've seen from Stay Close. Now, Stay Close is not staying in Pennsylvania. He's going to race there this week, much like the Sintra type situation. He'll race there and leave, or race there for a couple starts and leave. But I would like to have him back in Ontario for the winter. We'll see how that plays out. Looks like Money will be making a start soon. I see Atlas Hanover is in to go. Patrick DePrana, very rare you see him throw a clunker in a flat mile. He was a little flat the other day. I hadn't talked to Stacy much about that. I will in the coming weeks. Kings County, somebody said, I can't believe Brett picked the other horse over Kings County. Well, Kings County he's difficult-ish to drive. They asked me to go drive him, and I said, I can't go down there on Thursday or Wednesday. I got too much on the go, or Thursday for that matter. I think somebody said Kane Kaufman is driving Kings County. Kane's a great driver and a good guy. Brett chose good as him. I can't tell you why. It's up to Brett Miller. But I know he doesn't belong in that class, or he shouldn't be in that class. He shouldn't have to be up in that class yet. So the one thing I did say to Stacy is, listen, you can have a little talk with the race office there, the same as I have a talk with the one here in regards to our horses with Harry or Mario. I'd rather not see them race against each other. By rather, I mean, you'll only do it once or twice, and then I'll move the horse. White Tiger and Locatelli, we've talked about this, a little different situation. There isn't as many avenues for either of those horses outside of a big track, and I'm not really that interested in sending either of them down to the Meadowlands just yet. So that's where we're at with those two. But when it comes to, we had Harry and I had messaged Harry, and Harry had messaged the race office and said, listen, do not put Sintra and No Free Lunch in together this week. He was literally, we already drew his papers, he was going to the Meadows on Friday, and then Harry said, you know, he does fit the class he won the other day. Now there's 25,000. He fits it because he drops a win off of his card from the Meadows. I said, oh, cool. So he was entered at Mohawk, but also tentatively entered at the Meadows. So Harry was on the phone calling Mohawk saying, hey, if you're not going to put Sintra, they said, we're not filling it open this week, so No Free Lunch is going to have a week off. Okay. Who would have thought we would have said that a year ago? He said, okay, but we can, Sintra does fit the other class, he can win. So Sintra's not going to the Meadows this week. He's going to race in what would be the top class on Saturday night. It is not a preferred or an open this week. So No Free Lunch will sit out a week. Nevertheless, if Sintra goes there a week or two from now, there's going to be a surfacing of Sintra in the Meadows again. We're not racing No Free Lunch and Sintra together against each other. As I said to Harry, I know Harry doesn't want to hear that, but Harry also understands what's at stake here. He's the coach, I'm the GM. At the end of the day, we have to put the horses where they can make the most and do the most good for the stable and for themselves. And racing two of our horses against each other, I've said it a million times, although we've had to. Last night somebody said, well, I thought you weren't going to race Resolute Bay with Renegade Gypsy. Well, I don't know if you were paying attention. Remove either one of those horses from that class. The class doesn't go last night. Just doesn't go. Same as Locatelli and White Tiger. So, hopefully we can get things going in Mohawk where Locatelli races in the open. White Tiger drops down into some sort of backup class or wherever he fits now. As far as Sintra and No Free Lunch, they will not race against one another. So I am, not for a while anyway, I'm going to send probably Sintra over there. After this week, it'll be like, I think 5 weeks in a row, if I'm not mistaken. He might need a week off, or maybe he'll just go right over to the Meadows. But we're going to continue to move the horses. And we can. As I said, it's 5 hours. It's still closer than Ottawa. Move one of them over there. I don't think No Free Lunch gets around. The reason I haven't talked about No Free Lunch reciprocally saying he's the one that could go is because he's not going to get around 5/8 as well. He won in 52 or something at the Meadows, but he's not Central. He just isn't. And I don't think he's going to win an open at the Meadows. But again, that's something Harry and I can discuss. If he thinks that maybe, we send Sintra over there for a couple of weeks and bring him back and send No Free, then so be it. We can do that also. That's the beauty of having good horses. There's usually lots of places to race them. Usually. So that's where we're at right now. I'm on my way over here tonight. We got Compass. My Jazz is in. I think Yes is in. Or is Yes in tomorrow? Might be in tomorrow. Compass Rose DC. My Jazz. Matt's MVP. I think it might be Yes. I'm not positive though. Definitely another horse. No, it is Yes because Red Overbox in tomorrow. So we got Yes, My Jazz, Compass Rose DC, and Matt's MVP. Everybody looks good for tonight. I'm on my way there now. The track, again, is closed tomorrow. So we're going to have to work some of the babies on the back track. Can't train them. You can't go the right way of the track, on the training way of the track on the back track. You can't at Stutzman's either. It's just the sight line's not good, and there's not enough room for people to be training out there. So we'll just jog them along. A couple of them that just maybe need some help getting gated up or equipment-wise, because coming this week are the drones. By the drones, I mean Friday at First Line Training Center. We will have drone videos for you starting early because Mark Curtis, I've turned into my father. James has to go to the qualifiers early in the morning. He should go over around 9:30. If we start at 7:45, 8 o'clock, there's only 3 sets there, 4 at the very most. We'll be able to get them in and get him out long before the qualifiers, and we have horses to school and qualify also. Then after all that is completed, Amy and I are going to go over to Ohio, because Saturday we're going to bring you guys some videos of the babies from Ohio. That would be the video department at Northfield Park. So we're going to bring that's going to be a lot of fun. That's going to be 8 or 9 sets of babies, I think, on Saturday. Chance of rain, but unlike the drone, chance of rain is not going to cancel our video day unless the chance turns into a large amount, which it doesn't look like it will. We will be bringing you some videos from Saturday morning in Ohio. Coming up, we're in the final stages of it's going to be tight. So I want everybody to pay attention. If you haven't fallen asleep yet in this video, pay attention, because we are going to try and have an open house December 10th at Northfield Park and at Mohawk the day before. So my plan, I'm going to work it out with Curtis, is to have an open house. Now, the open house is difficult at First Line. We don't have a veranda. We don't have a clubhouse type situation. We can open the barn up. We can have some food there and some coffee and donuts. People can come to the barn, look at the horses, walk outside and watch them go. It's not really the same as it was at Temecula. This is one hurdle we're trying to get past. But I thought we could mitigate some of that by maybe having a little bit of a Christmas type party at Mohawk on Saturday. I'm trying to secure 65 seats at Mohawk for all of us upstairs, because on Saturday night there should be no free lunch, if Sintra and a number of other horses potentially racing that night. Those two for sure, or that one for sure. It should be a lot of fun for us to get together, sit upstairs and watch the races together. That's the plan for Mohawk. That will be the night of. So my plan is to have an open house type at First Line. If you want to come watch the horses, great. The next evening, Saturday evening, have everybody out to Mohawk. Now, if it has to be on Friday, then it'll have to be on Friday. But my plan is to. A little tricky, because right after our open house on Friday, I'm going to go over to Northfield Park. We're going to have an open house Saturday the 10th, a brunch in the morning at Northfield Park. We are securing that right now. We do have permission from MGM Northfield Park. Thank you very much to MGM for allowing us to do that. We're going to have a few more people than 65 out to Northfield, I would imagine, in the morning. See the babies go, have some discussion, talk to our clients again, and then that evening I'm coming right back, because we want to host everybody at Mohawk on Saturday evening. So tight schedule for us, but that's my life. So with that, I'm going to let you go. You're up to date now. You know about Punch the Clock. Everybody, if you're a very religious person, maybe say a prayer, cross your fingers, because she needs it. Man, she's a fighter. Will to Win Hanover, I don't know what's going to take place there yet. And then in regards to all the horses, all the babies, listen, we continue to be on a good run. It's just life. You know, life is what happens sometimes. You can't always have the good. You got to take some bad. And we're in the midst of just a little bit of that right now. So I will talk to you all very soon. I hope you're having a good day, because it is a good day. No bad news yet anyway. So take care. I'll talk to you all soon.